for NASCAR and Fox Sports Radio. The Big 920 WOKY Milwaukee on the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Welcome, everyone, to the Racing Roundup Show. We are live this evening at Danny Lynch's at the corner of Lincoln and Highway 100, Lincoln Avenue, Highway 100, 2300 South 108th Street. For the Racing Roundup Show, the next 90 minutes, nothing but motorsports. We're talking to you and a bunch of racers here hanging out with us. Great-looking race cars on display as well. We have the American Super Cups car that won his heat race on Sunday at Slinger. Sean Urick is here with us tonight. Jack Vanderboom is in the house tonight. We'll talk to him about his MSA 360 racing. We'll check in with Wisconsin Wingless Sprints point leader Ryan Marshall. We also have some beautiful cars sponsored by Lynch's right out front. Special thanks to Colin Skinjaleski, who actually won his feature Saturday night to cap off his Grand National season at Beaver Dam Raceway to finish 9th in points. His car is out front, as are the junior dragsters of sisters Ella Schaefer and her younger sister Nevaeh Schaefer. They're here with their cars, so if you want to check those out, they're right here on the curb lane at Highway 100 in Lincoln in West Allis. We're live out front of Danny Lynch's. Looking forward to seeing you join the racing crowd as well. Our first guest tonight will be NASCAR racer turned Badger Midget driver Todd Cleaver. He brought a bunch of stuff with him. We'll talk about what he's been doing on the track and off the track with a bunch of involvements this weekend at the racetrack. And, of course, he's racing with the Badger Midgets. So it's looking forward to seeing what his season has been like as well. That and more. We've got the world of NASCAR and our Interstate Batteries of Southeast Wisconsin NASCAR report, as well as our Bonafide Security Solutions short track spotlight. We'll be talking about a bunch of different tracks that are ending or maybe even having the year-end specials kick in already. That and more on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show. We'd also like to welcome American Foundation Specialists as a sponsor of our show for the rest of our season. So join the racing crowd. We're live at Danny Lynch's at the corner of Lincoln Avenue and Highway 100 in West Allis. You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070thegame.com. We'll be right back.
Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln is a great place to watch NASCAR races, Packer games, Brewer games, and to meet up with your friends. Joey and Jim Lynch pride themselves on their friendly hospitality and welcome Racing Roundup listeners to stop in to watch all the races on their 14 TVs and flat screens. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln has been a longtime supporter of racers, including National Road Racing Motorcycle Champion Dan Delansky. Relax around the big neighborhood bar with 2 pool tables and dartboards surrounded by TVs. Whether you're meeting up before the game, want to watch the races with race fans, or just want to grab a cold one, head to Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln and West Allis.
Add value and beauty to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company, Incorporated. The team at Central Services is their personal choice of over 45 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin for landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction and building your backyard patio oasis, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts at Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business. Find out why Central Services can provide you with the visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
Hey gang, Rich Bickle here. This is my 45th and final year racing, and come January I'm throwing the biggest retirement party in history of racing. Join me on the Norwegian cruise ship Joy for Bickle's Bon Voyage, the largest short track party at sea. We'll be cruising the Caribbean and stopping at some awesome places. January 22nd to the 29th on a ship that has 18 bars, imagine that, 16 gourmet restaurants, craft beers, and a go-kart track. I'll tell some stories, not my book, and there'll be some stories I can't tell on the radio. And you can ask me anything during the special question and answer session. Join the racers and fans already signed up. The bench racing party will be spectacular. Get out to January, Wisconsin weather and let's party. Spend a week in the warm Caribbean as we visit Honduras, Costa Maya, Belize, and Cozumel. Bickle's Bon Voyage is made possible through Making Memories Travel. Visit the Facebook page or go online right now to mymmtravel.com. I guarantee a great time that we talked about for years to come. You won't want to miss it. Click on the link on mymmtravel.com. Join me and celebrate 45 years of racing on Bickle's Bon Voyage Cruise.
4-2 427-1000. American Foundation.
When your foundation is in need of repair, you need three things: an honest opinion, quality work, and fair prices. Call American.
Trust and dedication. That's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000. American Foundation.
At Automatic Transmission Design, we know your vehicle is important to you. When your transmission needs servicing, take it to the best. ATD in Germantown, Wisconsin. ATD understands how important it is to get your vehicle fixed right the first time. When you take your vehicle to ATD, our ASE trained technicians will run diagnostic tests to pinpoint the exact problem and answer any questions you may have before repairs begin. ATD has been providing high-quality, honest repairs to customers for over 15 years. We service all makes and models using the best parts and equipment available. When you come to ATD, you will get an honest assessment of the problem, simple explanations, experienced technicians, competitive pricing, high-quality parts, and their 100% guarantee. Money is not the goal at ATD. It is the result of fixing the problem and returning the vehicle to you. That is their goal. The next time your vehicle needs quality transmission service, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. Tonight we are live at Lynch's. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Lincoln and Highway 100. Hot dogs and chips are on. For anybody who cares to come on down and join us, they're available to sell you pizzas as well. Great bar to hang out with your racing friends or any sporting event. There's flat screens everywhere. Matter of fact, we're watching the old ARCA race at Winchester on the MAV TV signals here on several of the televisions. So come on down and join the racing crowd and critique what I say. Oh, wait a minute. You have to just listen to the show. We have the volume down on the TV. Sorry. Hey, if you want to turn your recyclable metals into cash, now's the time to do it. At all three Allied Resource Recovery locations, they're open at ARR West Allis Recycling at 80th and Burnham, at ARR Waukesha Recycling at 1001 Tesh Court, and at National Salvage on South 44th Street across from where the Milwaukee Brewers play. Visit AlliedResourceRecovery.com. Hey, I spoke with Mike Lake today, Russ Lake's brother, and Russ isn't doing that great. So if you can keep a thought and a prayer for Russ Lake. He's in the hospital in the ICU. He has COVID, and he's not doing that great. So keep in mind, Russ Lake needs your prayers and your thoughts, and he's in hospital care right now. So keep Russ Lake in your thoughts and prayers as well, please. We, tonight on the show, will have a great program. And after the show, you got to be here at Danny Lynch's to win these prizes, among many others. We have 2 pair of Jefferson Speedway Grandstand tickets to this Friday night's Wisconsin State Championship races. Why Friday night? Because it's the Midwest Truck Series. They brought us the tickets. It's the Seminary Springs Tavern 50-lap championship feature for them. It's going to be one of the biggest races of the year for the racetrack. You can win a pair of tickets to the Jefferson Speedway Friday night Wisconsin State Championships thanks to the Midwest Truck Series and sponsor Seminary Springs Tavern and Todd Cleaver. We also have 4 $25 gift cards to either Seminary Springs, the Fox Barn Grill, or Nora's Tavern, your choice. And we'll get Todd to tell us here in a few minutes where those places are. So if you're in our listening area, we have some gift cards to give away to those wonderful joints as well. And I'm sure you're going to have some fun hanging out with the Cleaver Bunch. They're a bunch of great people, and looking forward to seeing how you can support their businesses as they're way involved in racing on many levels. We have bottles of Anderson's maple syrup to give away. We have die-cast cars from Greenfield Gallery, where they're always buying racing collections. We have a ton of racing T-shirts, die-cast cars, racing hats, vintage Interstate Batteries, die-cast cars. And Sean York also brought some shirts and hero cards, so we'll talk to him about his great season. And his Sparky Motorsports team, we'll talk to him about that on the program as well. So come on down and join the racing crowd and win some of those prizes. It's time for the Interstate Batteries of Southeast Wisconsin NASCAR Report. Interstate Batteries are the #1 replacement battery in North America. They're also celebrating their 30th anniversary as a founding sponsor of Joe Gibbs Racing. Visit interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Martin Truex Jr. rolled into victory lane Saturday night at Richmond Raceway after the 400-lap Cup Series race that saw 21 lead changes among 8 drivers. Truex led the last 50 laps and finished 1.3 seconds ahead of his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate Denny Hamlin. Then came Christopher Bell. Their 4th teammate, Kyle Busch, received a crushing speeding penalty on pit road during green flag stops just outside of 50 laps to go. Kai Bu finished 9th. For Truex, whose big knock had been you could win on a short track, it's his 3rd Richmond race in the last 5 that he's won at Richmond. He's now locked into the next round of 12 in the playoffs. 13 of the 16 playoff drivers actually at Richmond finished in the top 15, so it's hard to separate, hard to get any advantage. Well, this Saturday night, is the first round of the playoffs cutoff race at Bristol. William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Kurt Busch, and Alex Bowman will have to win or race well this Saturday at Bristol, including Daytona 500 winner Michael McDowell. He's in the playoffs, but he's down in points. In the race on Saturday, Richmond, Richfield, Wisconsin's Josh Blicky finished 36th. On the Xfinity Series side of Richmond, Noah Gragson won for the second straight week. He led twice for 22 laps, including the last 14 circuits. At Richmond Raceway, Justin Haley, John Hunter Nemechek, Justin Allgaier, and Riley Herbst completed the top 5. ARCA Menard Series point leader Ty Gibbs recorded his 9th top 10 in 13 Xfinity Series races by finishing 6th. Gibbs did lead the most laps in the race, 67, and won Stage 2. He'll be double-dipping this weekend as well in the ARCA and the Xfinity Series. More on that in a moment. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Race Series race, his annual one-race-a-year obligation for his sponsor, Unilever. Finished 14th in the Xfinity Series race before putting the headset back on for his TV duties on Saturday. Earlier today, last year's Truck Series champ Sheldon Creed was announced that he'll be racing full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series next year with Richard Childress Racing in a full-time effort. I'll be at the last Great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway on the Fox Sports team for live coverage of this Thursday night's ARCA race, which will be followed shortly thereafter by the Truck Series race on FS1. Franklin's Sam Mayer won both of those races last year and has entered in those races and the Xfinity Series race at Bristol for a triple dip. Sam is one of 5 drivers racing double duty with the ARCA and either Truck or Xfinity Series rides, including Ty Gibbs. This Friday night Xfinity Series race is the final race of the regular season for that series. The Bristol night race of the Cup Stars is on Saturday. This weekend, I'll also travel as I get back from Bristol right up to Road America on the PA for what is expected to be 300 vintage cars, a rolling museum of history during the Aaron's Art on Wheels Vintage Weekend. Looking forward to seeing you there. Log on to roadamerica.com for an event schedule and details. There's a lot going on in the world of motorsports. That gives us time to think about what we're going to do next. We're going to take a short commercial break, hear from some great sponsors that have helped us be around for 37 years and counting on the Racing Roundup Show. When we come back, we're turning on the Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup Spotlight, the short track spotlight on a driver sitting next to me already. Can't wait to get on the show. We're talking to Todd Cleaver next on the Racing Roundup Show live at Danny Lynch's at the corner of Lincoln and Highway 100. As he walks away, he's just walking away. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070thegame.com. We'll be right back.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help you with your spring cleaning. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Dallas, Waukesha, and Milwaukee, right next to Miller Park. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Gorgeous vintage cars showcase racing history against the beautiful fall colors at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin for the Aaron's Art on Wheels weekend, September 17th through the 19th. Over 300 classic cars will compete this year for the Vintage Sports Car Drivers Association sanctioned event. A huge weekend of vintage cars, September 17th to the 19th. Fan-friendly paddock, weekend camping, and more. Get your tickets now at roadamerica.com or call 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Wolf Paving Raceway, home of the Badger Kart Club in Dousman. Most Sundays from April through September, Club Championship Points Racers and National Touring Series will race on the challenging paved road course. 4 bank turns have been added and provide new challenges to Wolf Paving Raceway, already one of the finest kart racing tracks in the country. Kart racing offers competition for racers of all ages, from 5 to 80. There are 15 classes and over 100 entries a week. Race where Ellen Kowicki, Danica Patrick, and Josh Palicki got their start. Spectator admission is always free. Walk the pits, talk to the racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand, too. Bring the whole family and check out kart racing for yourself. Wolf Paving Raceway is just south of I-94, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. Take the Highway 67 Dousman-Oconomowoc exit, head south to Highway 18, then west to Grambling Road. For all the latest information and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com.
427-1000 American Foundation.
When your foundation is in need of repair, you need 3 things: an honest opinion, quality work, and fair prices. Call American.
Trust and dedication. That's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
Sure, using needles to treat muscles might sound scary, but I assure you they are very thin and the results patients receive far outweigh any discomfort they might experience during. Call us today at 262-646-5800 to see if dry needling might help you.
Find out for yourself why others will drive past other doctor offices and travel many miles just to be seen by Dr. Murray or Dr. Mai at Lake Country Health Center. Get started at lakecountryhealthcenter.com.
The Big 920.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. We are live at the corner of Lincoln and Highway 100 in West Dallas at Danny Lynch's. Polly's Pub and Eatery is where we'll be next week. They are closed right now, so if you're on your way to Polly's, head west, young man and woman. Want to go out to Highway 100 in Lincoln, that's where we are hanging out with the racing crowd. Great-looking race cars outside, great-looking racing crowd inside. Hey, if you want to watch our show at any point in time, feel free on our website, racingroundup.net. We're on Facebook Live right now. Just like our Facebook page, and we'll pop you a note that we're on live. We'll also share it with you after the show's over. It's all possible thanks to our friends at Matt Rapina, Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. If you are looking to buy a home or commercial property, list and buy with confidence. Hire a realtor that has knowledge and experience and expertise to get your deal done. Not all realtors are the same. Choose Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty and list it with Matt Rapina. Knowledge is power. Hire knowledge. Visit mattrapina.com, mattrapina.com. There's something coming up pretty quick here. It's actually coming up this Sunday. It's called the Hales Corner Speedway Reunion. Pat Haney's here tonight, so if you want to talk to him specifically about what's going down, I want to tell you there's a lot going on this Sunday. It's at the New Berlin VFW Post. It's called the Hales Corner Speedway Reunion. It's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The date is September 19th. That's this Sunday. You'll expect to see a bunch of race cars, classic cars, and a bunch of memorabilia, street rods, food, music. Lots of folks walking around with name tags on, hopefully, and you can see a bunch of racers you got to watch back in the day, or even current race drivers are encouraged to bring their cars and show them off. Friends and fans, and a great experience. It's another reunion put together by a great group of people. The Hales Corner Speedway Reunion is this Sunday, September 19th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the New Berlin VFW Post. The address is 17980 West Beloit Road. So that's right off of the Rock Freeway. Look it up on your phone, 17980 West Beloit Road in New Berlin, Wisconsin. It's the Hales Corner Speedway Reunion. Pat's even got some shirts he wants to sell you as well as part of the commemorative run to see a bunch of folks you haven't seen in a while. It's great to see everybody back together again this Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for that one. This is the Anderson's Maple Syrup Racing Short Track Spotlight. They're proud sponsors and supporters of Wisconsin racers Dennis Prunty, Bill Bailog, and Jason Gross. Try Anderson's Maple Syrup in your coffee or tea or on your ice cream. Take it with you with Pure Fuel, maple energy on the go. You can buy Anderson's Maple Syrup at your favorite grocer. AndersonsMapleSyrup.com is the website. Anderson's, pure quality since 1928. This week's Anderson's Maple Syrup Racing Spotlight lands on former Madison International Speedway Super Late Model competitor, ASA National Tour driver, and NASCAR driver turned Badger Midget racer, Todd Cleaver. Todd, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's been a few years to have you on.
Yeah, I think it was maybe 2 years ago or so with Johnny Wood when I came down here for the truck race, and I think before that, maybe my NASCAR days or when I drove for Jerry Gunderman.
Could have been any of those.
Yeah,
you've done a lot of things.
I've been here, and I've been on the show I think 3 or 4 times total, but not recently.
Hard to remember all the times.
It's been a long time.
And in reality, you've got one of the most diverse backgrounds when it comes to racing cars. Even through this year, running a Badger Midget at your home track in Sun Prairie, that had to be. I know you went there. You used to be that NASCAR guy. Be like, hey, it's Cleaver here, it's Cleaver here. Well, yeah, he's over there. He's in turn 1 watching his buddy Brandon Welty. He's wearing a black ball cap, no logo. Leave him alone. He's here to watch the races at the Prairie. Now you're racing yourself. How much fun is that?
Yeah, it's been pretty fun, to be honest with you. I tell people all the time, Angel Park, Sun Prairie is my hometown. It's the first racetrack my father ever took me to. It's where I fell in love with racing. It's where my obsession started, and it's taken me all across many different genres of racing and many different states and areas, whatever, but it's always good to come home and enjoy it. Angel Park is a special place. The crowds have been awesome. It's really cool to get to race in front of all my customers, my friends, my family. We party quite a bit after the races.
You enjoy it, yeah.
Yeah, I've probably had more fun racing this year than I've had in at least 10 years. It's nice when the season's over that you wish it wasn't over instead of at the end of August when you're like, God, I wish this would just be over for the year. So, yeah, that's been going on this year.
Are you done now for the year? You finished, 5th in the feature at Plymouth the other night.
Yeah, I don't know if we're officially done, but there is a Badger race next weekend that I will not be going to. It's in Indiana.
Okay.
I have to go to a wedding. Tentatively, there's one October 14th or 16th or something at Tomahawk Speedway, which I would like to do. but it's pretty cold at Tomahawk, and they have a cutoff of a temperature. If it's forecast to be below that, we're not going to be racing. So,
well, if you had a chance, and maybe there's snow flying by then, you are an avid snowmobiler too, so you probably wouldn't mind maybe throwing some skis down and maybe racing that instead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that too. If they just make it a snowmobile race, I'd probably be more confident I could win that one. But no, I can't say that it's the last one. Maybe I go somewhere else, even though we got a little motor compared to the national motor stuff. I'm not ready to be done, but it might be done.
When you looked at your season ahead, actually, let's go back to when you're racing a modified on dirt. You didn't get to race the Prairie. What drew you to getting away from the modified and bringing that midget into the shop and going racing at your home track this year?
Well, if I'm being completely honest, and I don't mean to knock on the modified guys, I didn't really have that much fun with my modified. And I didn't like fixing body panels every week, and boy, they can be pretty rough. I always really loved midget racing. If I'm being truthful, wing sprint car racing is my holy grail. I really wanted to do that. I wanted to build a wing car, a little more room, a little big pillow on top of the car for flips. But I'm sick of traveling too, and 5 minutes from my shop to the racetrack looks pretty nice. I've always loved midget racing and racing at home, and I don't know. Figured if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go midget racing. I'm going to have fun, and my whole family can come and be a part of it. My nieces get to be there every Sunday night. It's been really cool for us.
And you're not just hanging around saying, I hope I make the show. You were doing well. You qualified third, top 5 in the feature on Saturday at Plymouth, the track that you haven't read a ton at. How would you rate your season, or rate your season as you progressed in your first year in a midget?
I'm one of those guys that it's never good enough. So I'm very hard on myself. I'm very critical of myself. We could always be better. But I mean, it is what it is. I think we ran 12 races, and I think I finished outside the top 10 one time or 2 times maybe. So I'll be honest, I really underestimated the adjustment that it was going to be for me. Everything I've ever driven, you kind of feel like you're laid back in a lazy boy driving, and you got all this room inside, and that is not the case in one of those things. So it took me at least a few weeks to figure out, how to keep my arms down and not bash them all over the side of the car when I'm trying to steer, and how to make my feet work up and down instead of forward and backwards. And but I guess I just use that as fuel for next year, right? So if I don't feel like I did good enough, that makes me just hungrier for next year.
Talking to Todd Cleaver, racing with the Badger Midgets, and getting really used to it and getting some speed in those cars. Very competitive season this year. We've had several drivers on, and Quinn McCabe a couple of times, just talking about how much it takes to get there, and then it kind of equals out where you really got to be good at everything. You got to have everything going right to run well and to win one of these races.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really cool. I think we had 27 cars at Plymouth. I think the most we've had at Angel Park is like 36, while 22 start the race. I mean, that's a good portion of cars going home, and you got guys like Chase McDermott and, Thomas Meserol's been up there twice, and, them guys are no slouches, so you've got to be on your game right from the start. And, fortunately for me, I have, my buddy BJ, who's here with us tonight. He got in, with this right away with me, and Brandon Welty's been there at the racetrack almost every time with me. So I've had a lot of help, not only with trying to figure out what I'm doing with the car. I've got experienced guys there helping me, and I've got experienced guys in driving them too that can kind of help me out that way. But yeah, it's not easy. Them guys in the front are fast, and I've learned you don't lift on the throttle on these things very much at all, and it sounds completely awkward, but that's just how they do it. You leave it on the floor till you have to lift because it's not doing what you expect it to do, but most of the time you're just on the floor and steering.
That sounds kind of fun. If it's working right.
It takes a minute to get there, though. I'm not going to lie.
Talk with Todd Cleaver again, racing a midget this year. Have you been to the Chili Bowl? Have you experienced anything like that? Are you thinking about maybe doing some other racing outside of Badger?
I have been to the Chili Bowl in 2006 when I was still with Roush. I always tell people, I know everybody calls it the Chili Bowl flu. As somebody who's run a bunch of NASCAR races, knocked the crush panels out of his car a few times, that is carbon monoxide poisoning is exactly what that is. They can call it whatever they want. It is carbon monoxide poisoning. I know that it's gotten a lot better. I have a contingent of people who are really, really on me right now for me to go do the chili bowl.
I'm going to add my name to that list. It's worth going to. It's a lot of fun.
I'm not sure that, I don't know. I just don't know that with my smaller motor and, that's a lot of money to do it. And I'm not into doing things just to say I do them.
Mm-hmm.
I at least want to be semi-competitive, or why waste the time? So
I hear you.
We're undecided on that. I'll leave it as a maybe.
2.4-liter motors are what the Badger midgets are using. The National midgets run a lot bigger motor, a lot more expensive motor. You got to play together for the first time at Angel Park Speedway. First time in a handful of years that USAC National midgets came back to race on Labor Day weekend, the Fireman's National weekend. You were racing that night as well in a Badger midget division. It wasn't like a crossover. I think Brandon was one of the only local guys that ran just with the National midgets. What did you see as the biggest difference, or did you take note of what they're running, or were you looking at their suspension and going, that costs a lot of money, I'd like to try that? What was your experience knowing that you have now raced a midget, now you're looking at what the USAC National guys brought in town?
I don't really know. I mean, the motors are mainly it. I know Chase has been doing some different stuff with his, rear suspension and stuff like that. We've all kind of looked at that and whatever, but that's the one neat thing I kind of feel about midget racing is it's not asphalt super late model racing or dirt late models or dirt modifieds where everybody's got the trick of the week and you're trying just throwing money at it to try and figure it out. There's only so many adjustments you can do, and then you just got to drive the thing. Now, granted there's some setup stuff there to it, but it's pretty neat. I would guess that the USAC National motors are probably 50 horse more than ours, roughly 40, 50, something like that. But, I think the track record at Angel Park's a 14.3 something for a USAC midget. And one of our cars, Zach Bowden, went like a high 14.4 this year. So you're talking a tenth, 2/10 maybe of a second difference. And probably $40,000 difference in the motor. So, if the average fan, and me, myself included, if you can see 2/10 on the racetrack in a show, I don't know that it's worth $40,000, I can tell you that.
Just as the man who's paying all those bills as well. It makes a lot of logical sense to race at home with a great series of a great bunch of racers. Todd Cleaver also at home in Sun Prairie, the Madison area, with 3 family businesses, at least 3 that we know about. Is there 4 with the vending business?
Yep, my father has a vending machine company called Badger Music and Equipment, so we do jukeboxes, pool tables, pull tab machines, poker machines, video games, whatever. We got about 75 other bars and restaurants that we service those into.
And then you have 3 places you call home that are part of what we advertise as sponsors of the Midwest Truck Series throughout the year. This Friday night at Jefferson Speedway, Seminary Springs Tavern, one of your establishments, is putting together the title sponsor for that race. Where is Seminary Springs Tavern?
So Seminary Springs is, it's got a Madison address, but really it's between Sun Prairie and Cottage Grove. It's on Highway TT, Old Highway 30. About 5 miles from Angel Park Speedway, about 25 miles, maybe 20 miles from Madison International Speedway, a couple of miles from downtown Madison. It's kind of right in the middle of everywhere.
Yeah.
And then Norris Tavern is on Highway 12 and 18 between Cottage Grove and Deerfield, and then the Fox Bar and Grill's right on Main Street in Marshall. So
that's a lot going on. How do you split your time in a given week?
I don't know.
You're everywhere all the time?
I just get up in the morning and my phone rings. It tells me where to go and what I'm doing. I don't know. I generally work with my dad most on his business. So I work with my father every day, and then my brother more or less tries to handle the bar and restaurant side of it. I'm fortunate we kind of structure it. My brother takes care of Nora. I take care of Seminary, and we have another girl and my brother who take care of the Fox. So I don't have to run all over all the time.
Yep.
So, it is what it is. It's fun. I enjoy it. I have a lot of really cool people I get to see every day and hang out. And my job is a social job. I'm not stuck in some office somewhere or, sitting on my couch in front of a laptop. That would drive me nuts. So
yeah.
I get to see people every day and smile and laugh and have a good time.
When it comes to sponsor this race on Friday, people may not know, but Todd Cleaver is also a winning Midwest Truck Series driver. He won at Jefferson during the Wisconsin State Championship weekend not too long ago. So we're giving away 2 pair of tickets tonight to go see that race this Friday night, sponsored by your joint, Seminary Springs Tavern. What should people expect going to Friday night at Jefferson?
I will say Jefferson, I never ever raced at Jefferson until I went to the short track championships for the truck race, and we won. So I was one for one there, and then I went back one other time, and we didn't win. We finished third, so then I ruined my average. But it is a neat place. It's one of the coolest places in the state to actually watch a race, and that's from somebody who has really no loyalty to it. It's not like I grew up racing there or whatever. It's a neat place. Those guys race hard. 2 totally different corners. Just a lot of fun to watch a race at, and then there's a big party afterwards because it's a 2-day show. So a lot of good times to be had this weekend there, and a lot of good racing to watch.
So when you show up, your buddy John Wood was on the show last week. When you show up at one of those races, you're not driving. Does he put you to work?
No.
All right.
No, I'll be honest. I only went to a couple of asphalt races this year because we've been working on with the midget stuff. But I was unfortunately the last asphalt race that I went to. I get lost in the order, but I was at Oregon for one of them, and I was at the Dells working on Johnny's car the night that he had his horrendous wreck. So I'm excited to go Friday night. Watch the races, the trucks. You always got to give yourself a whirlwind first year to try and figure things out, but it's time to win races next year. We're wasting our time.
You mentioned BJ. You mentioned your bars. Anyone else we need to recognize or thank as part of your season this year?
Well, my buddy Brandon Welty, obviously, and his fabrication shop, BRS. My buddy BJ, of course. My buddy Brad Miller, always a sponsor of mine. Chad Weir's Machine has been a sponsor of mine forever. He doesn't make many parts for a midget anymore, but
it still helps you out. That's awesome.
I keep poking and prodding him on them. What we'll see if the dirt suspension side world slows down. He's killing it so bad in the modifieds and the dirt late models. Time for the sprint cars and midgets. I mean that's awesome for him though. I was not the first guy he sponsored, but I was definitely in there pretty early when he basically just made shifter knobs and A-frame spacers and stuff, and I still have one of them upstairs too. It's cool. I pull it out every now and again and take a picture and send it to him. But and my buddy Blake at Lake Wisconsin Campground, pretty much anybody that helps me anymore is now considered basically a friend. We're friends, and whether they give me money or help me not, we always. If I can help Brad, I help Brad, and Brad can help me, he helps me, and that's just the way things go, and those are the kind of people that I try and do business with nowadays, and so I got to thank all them guys, and then my family, obviously. There's been a lot of time, a lot of years, a lot of money I have spent for my family that they have really gotten no real return on.
You got to go racing a bunch,
see me smile, you know what I mean? So they've been awesome about that too, and otherwise it's been fun. It's been a great year, and hopefully we'll have a little more success.
Well, it's been enjoyable having you on this show, learning what you're doing now and what you're doing next week and what you're doing next season, and going back to race some more midget races at your home track, Angel Park Speedway. How am I saying for Todd Cleaver joining us on the Racing Roundup Show? Todd, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for sponsoring the Midwest Truck Series race this Friday. We get the benefit because Todd brought some tickets with him to this Friday night's Jefferson Speedway, Wisconsin State Championship races, including the Seminary Springs Tavern 50 Midwest Truck Series race. And he bought some $25 gift cards to Seminary Springs, Norris Tavern, and the Fox Bar and Grill. Thank you, Todd, for going above and beyond tonight. And we got to make sure he signs our backdrop as well. We have a lot to cover on the Racing Roundup program. Stick with us. We're live at the corner of Lincoln and Highway 100. Danny Lynch's is a great bar to hang out. There are a bunch of memorabilia everywhere. They got race car parts hanging on the wall. They got all sorts of flags and pennants and you name it. They've got TVs going all the time. And the fresh drinks are always poured to the right level. We are hanging out with you. We've got a lot of racing to do. This is the Racing Roundup Show live at the Lynch's Hangout, corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070thegame.com. We'll be right back.
Bergie's Pub and Prime in Caledonia is your destination for mouth-watering prime rib dinners and sandwiches and awesome pub burgers. Enjoy the soup of the day, wings, incredible steak sandwiches, and the area's best homemade pizza. Try Bergie's Friday Fish Fry, weekend breakfast menu, or one of their scrumptious daily specials. Bergie's Pub and Prime is a proud sponsor of the Gooteneck Racing Team. Bergie's is just minutes south of the Milwaukee Airport off of I-94 at the 7 Mile Road exit. Head east 2 blocks and hang a left on Frontage Road till it ends. Like them on Facebook, Bergie's Pub and Prime.
Interstate Batteries, proud sponsor of the Racing Roundup Show and the number 18 of Joe Gibbs Racing. Interstate Batteries is the #1 replacement battery in North America. You deserve the best, so get the best. Go to interstatebatteries.com. Go to interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Get yours today. Race on.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
road trips to Sandwich, Illinois. Because that's living life to the flavor fullest. Get free delivery when you order on our app through September 14th. Panera. Live your yes. Pricing and product availability may vary. Visit PaneraBread.com.
The Big 920.
We are back on the Racing Roundup show on this lovely evening. We're live at Lynch's, the corner of Highway 100 in Lincoln. Danny Lynch's has been here forever. See Joe and the great gang and his brother Jimmy, they do it right. They're having fun. We've got some hot dogs on the grill. We've got some chips to hand out and some cold drinks to enjoy. Some great company as well tonight on this wonderful night. Race cars out front as well. Thanks to all the racers who brought their cars down tonight, including our next guest you'll hear from in just a moment. This portion of the show is brought to you by our good friends at Miller's Sales and Service. It'll be worth the short drive to Random Lake to get your next deal on your next boat, trailer, pre-owned car, or truck. Brad Miller and the experienced family of employees will find what you're looking for. The number to call for everything on land or water is 920-994-4358. It's time for the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report. Bonafide Security Solutions is celebrating 50 years in business for camera and alarm systems for your home or business, programmed card access and gun safes. It's a lock. Support the racers at Team Bonafide by calling 262-790-9400 or go online to bonafidesafe.com. They protect what you value. Mike Litchfield won more features, but Jesse Bernhagen was declared the season-long late model champ at Dells Raceway Park on Saturday night. Chris Webber was crowned the sportsman champ, and Jason Stark prevailed over Greg Bowers by 7 points to win the 602 late model title. Recent show guest Dylan Schwanbeck was caught up early in the first of two Legends features at the Dells. He jumped into Griffin McGrath's Legends Direct House car, raced his way to his 13th overall track championship by finishing out the night there strong. I said 13th. He also won his 14th. Stand by, more on that in a second. At the Dells, next up is the big Midwest Championship weekend, September 24, 25, and 26, with 6 exciting divisions in action. Log on to Dells Raceway Park for complete details. CK Contractors, LLC.com brings us the Wilmot Raceway happenings. Tonight's guest, Ryan Marshall, won the Wisconsin Wingless feature to extend his series point lead. Jacob Balk won the Bandits feature, and Chris Carlson won again at Wilmot Raceway in the Modifieds on Saturday night. Then there was the power outage that cut short the Wildman Watson Classic Dirt Kings feature you heard about last week on our show, and the evening was called Complete. It's the last Saturday night of racing this Saturday at Kenosha County Fairgrounds Wilmot Raceway. It'll feature the return of the bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprints, IRA Lightning Sprints, Bandits, and the Wisconsin Wingless Sprints. That's this Saturday night. Wilmot Raceway. Grandstands open at 5, racing at 6:30. Excuse me. The Midwest Truck Series races this Friday night at Jefferson Speedway in the Seminary Springs Tavern 50-lap feature, part of Jefferson's Wisconsin State Championship races. The series is supported by Pathfinder Chassis and Wagner Automotive. For more information, visit MidwestTruckSeries.com. Wow. Getting a throg in there. Anderson's Maple Syrup and CK Contractors are sponsoring Bill Baylog this year. Update on B Squared. He climbed into 4th in the All-Star Circuit of Championship points, Champions points after he raced from 23rd to 8th in Saturday's nights. $54,000 to win Tuscarora 50-lap feature. He'll stay in Pennsylvania to race this weekend at Williams Grove and Lincoln Speedways. I had the good fortune of working on the PA with Dean Strom Sunday afternoon at Slinger Super Speedway, which saw 4 more division champions crowned amid steady rain showers that interrupted then canceled the program after the second storm came through. Jack Stern set fast time and rode on Oak Creek Automotive sponsor Ryan Gutnick's rear bumper at the start of the feature. Before the rains came, they stopped the race and awarded the championship to Jack Stern, who won it outright based upon his points earned throughout the season, his first championship. Congrats to Ayrton Brockhouse, who won the feature and the championship on Sunday in the Bandolero division. Brady Held won his 3rd Slinger Bees title and was quite emotional during his champion's interview, knowing he was leaving the division after with his buddies right there with him to celebrate, as he's now going to race a sportsman car next year. Dylan Schwanbeck was awarded the Legends title, his 14th overall championship, and 2nd in as many nights. Bill Shavlik won the Figure 8 championship as well at Slinger. There are bracket races this Sunday afternoon at Slinger Super Speedway, and check them out online. The Badger Kart Club hosts the 3-day Route 66 Series events this Saturday and Sunday at Wolf Paving Raceway in Dousman. Spectator admission is always free at Wolf Paving Raceway. Visit BadgerKartClub.com for more information. That's the big stars of the Midwest. When it comes to karting, they're all coming to Dousman, Wolf Paving Raceway, and the Badger Kart Club. We now have a gentleman sitting right next to me. He's hanging out because his car is out front. His family's here supporting him as well. I saw him win a heat race on Sunday at Slinger Super Speedway in the visit of the American Super Cups at the world's fastest quarter mile. Let's welcome in 13-year-old Sean Urich. Sean, welcome to the show. Thanks for giving us a wave, and thanks for being here. I was excited to talk to you after your heat race win. We had some time because it was raining. We had time to during the track drying, but you were pretty excited then. How excited were you to win that race, and how many races have you won this year total?
I have won 3 races this year total. That was my first actual win at Slinger. It feels great to win there.
You did it pretty convincingly, I'd say. You got the lead and left him. That was kind of nice.
Yeah, I had such a good car that night. It was very disappointing that it got rained out. I felt like we could have won the feature that night.
Yeah, it happens though, right? And not a lot of rain this year, so you got a lot of racing in. Where did you like racing this year at the American Super Cups?
I loved racing at Toma. I love racing there every year. It reminds me of my karting days. I love racing at Slinger because of the high banks, Rockford because of the way it's laid out more than anything else, and Golden Sands because of just the speed you go there compared to any other track that you run at.
With the scale of the American Super Cup car, do you find yourself running the same lines on the racetrack as full-size stock cars, or do you kind of see what your car wants or needs, and if you got to wind it up, you go anywhere the car feels like it needs to go, right?
Yeah, at certain tracks like Golden Sands, you run it like a plate track. But in Toma, we run like Modified does there. We actually brake there more than any other track. We don't brake at any other track there, so that's definitely why that track is more fun, because you run there like you're in a bigger car.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. How long have you been doing this?
This is my 3rd year of Super Cups and my 7th year of racing.
What kind of karting did you do prior to that?
I actually karted at Badger beforehand, and after my 4th year, I decided to move up to Super Cups, and I won 3 feature races at Badger, and then I moved on to Super Cups, and, well, next year, I'm going to
What's next year, Sean?
The Midwest Truck Series.
Hey, that's exciting. You already got the truck, right?
Yep, we already got the truck. We're racing that Friday night at Jefferson.
Have you been in the truck yet? Have you raced it?
Yes, I raced the last race at the Dells. It was my first experience. Just made it on the lead lap in the B main. That was the whole goal the whole night.
Well, yeah, first time in it. How different was it for you?
Oh, much different. It's different having a whole right side of the car instead of having just sitting in the middle.
Because you've been centered, right?
Yeah,
Karts, you're centered. American Super Cups, you're centered.
Yep, 6 years I've been centered. And then this year, running all those races in the Super Cup, it's definitely much different having that whole right side.
Who has been helping you? Where did you get the truck? And has that person or team helped you along the way here? Because it's a pretty competitive deal you're jumping into here.
Yes. Tyler Schley, late model driver at Slinger. We bought the truck from him. He's going to help us out next year for a little bit of races. He's going to help us tune the car a little bit. And just trying to get experience for the rest of this year.
What attracted you of any choices to the Midwest Truck Series?
That I would add?
Yeah, you looked at it and said, that's what I want to do. Why?
Because it's sealed engine. My dad over there doesn't know how to work on it.
Hey, it's okay. I'm a son of a mechanic. I can take anything apart. Don't ask me to put it together. I'm with you, man.
He knows how to take things apart, but doesn't know how to work, like fine-tune an engine.
If you want to count the pieces, yeah, you and I got something in common. Yes, for sure. Your dad and me can get along just fine.
He learns as he goes on, which is good, especially with the Super Cup. My first year, there was a noticeable difference. One race I was finishing 2 laps down, and then the next race I finished 6, and I got my first heat win.
Now we're getting some flack back from the audience. I don't know who it would be. I don't know who that person is. He looks like maybe your dad.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be here without him. It's
gotta be fun. You're doing it as a family all the time, right?
Yep. He's helped me ever since I just started karting. Literally, right as soon as I started, he's been helping me. He bought my first kart. He's been working on the car all by himself. He's been working late nights just to try and get me to race, and I wouldn't be here without him.
Talking to Sean York, 13-year-old driver. He brought his American Super Cup to display out here. How much have you been hands-on on that? And when it comes to now truck racing with the Midwest Truck Series, suspension comes to play, something you didn't deal with in karting.
Actually, we do have suspension on the Super Cup.
Okay.
So
how does that correlate for you now?
It's definitely much different in the truck. It actually feels more rigid than the Super Cup.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're so used to having that softer suspension because we're in lighter cars.
Gotcha.
And getting used to the truck suspension. Working on suspension and giving my dad setup tips, I know how to do that somewhat because of the shocks, and I've learned it overall. But engine-wise, that's why we chose sealed engine series, because we can be competitive, and that's why I love the Midwest Truck Series. It's competitive. There's never like a obnoxiously slow truck. It's always everyone being competitive. It's completely equal.
Yeah, yeah. So with the American Super Cup car here at the corner of Danny Lynch's at Highway 100 Lincoln, is there a for sale sign on it? Are you going to keep it? Are you going to run both? What's the plan there?
I'm going to run for the championship next year in the Super Cup.
All right.
I mean, I'm going to run some double duty weekends. One race I'm going to be running the truck, and then the next day I'm going to be in the Super Cup. But after next year, I'll probably sell it. So.
All right. There are 18 or 20 cars at Slinger, and it's at this point in the year, is that average, or is it higher or lower than what you've been running all year with the American Super Cups, which goes to a lot of different tracks?
Definitely higher than we've had throughout this whole year. We've had, like, Toma, which is our smallest car count. We still get, like, 10 cars. And our biggest car count throughout the year, our average one, is, like, 14. And one race, we had, like, 18 cars.
Wow, okay.
So, our series is definitely getting bigger over the years. 2019, we had like 8 cars at Toma, and now we're just getting more cars, more and more. And especially, our series is now a support division of Tundra, and we're going to be running state championships. Midwest championship weekend.
At the Dells?
Yep.
Great.
So
that's coming up.
Yep.
There's a lot more racing left. What does your Sean York calendar say for the rest of the racing season this year?
Okay, so there's one race that we're still a little skeptical about running, but I'm running Friday night at Jefferson. Sunday, the 26th, at Midwest Championships at the Dells. National Short Track Championships Sunday with the Super Cup.
At Rockford.
Yep.
Yep.
And I would be running Oktoberfest, but again, just still getting used to the truck, so big setup change there. But we are going to be running Halloween potentially.
October 23rd at the Dells.
Yep.
That's a lot of time in the truck and the American Super Cup yet this year for you.
Yep. It's weird having this much races towards the end of the season.
Balancing school, I'm guessing. How's that going?
Friday I'm not even going to go to school, so.
Do I have to write the note already? Is that one of those deals where I have really bad handwriting, so I might be like a doctor. You know, I could just kind of scribble MD. Okay.
Yeah. And trying to split that with school, it's definitely getting a little more difficult as I move on in my career, because I could just go to a race and like no one would care, but now it's like, okay, I'm doing more assessments and trying to split those two. It's definitely getting a little more difficult.
Well, I'm sure it's all going to work out because you've got a great mind, and I'm sure you're going to make sure it works because you want to go racing in the biggest way. When it comes to the off season now, I'm not trying to forecast too much, but there's a lot of work to be done. You're going to take this car apart. You're going to learn more about what your truck actually has, right? Because you're just kind of getting the feel of it now. Big enough shop? Is Mom's car now in the driveway? What's going on there?
Yes, it's actually not in the driveway.
Oh,
in
it
fact,
is.
sometimes the truck is in the driveway.
Okay.
So we work on that. We have barely enough room in the garage, but we work on one car at once, and we try and split the two, and we're just working on them a ton, and during the off-season, we're going to try and get as much as we can out of the truck. And the Super Cup, we're probably going to do some little more work to the engine before next season, so we can get that championship.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of work ahead, but you're looking forward to the challenge, I'm guessing, because you're right at home in the shop. You don't have to drive a certain amount of way to get there. Good. What sponsors do you have on the American Super Cup car that's not for sale till the end of next year?
I'd like to thank School Service in New Berlin, Accurate Stamp, also New Berlin, Jolly Good Soda.
It's all over the back quarter panel. If you can't, or the back bumper says Jolly Good all over it.
Yep. We always give out some Jolly Good after the race. Everyone loves it in our series. Garbo Lincoln, located on Douglas Avenue in Racine, and On Time Apparel, located on National Avenue, New Berlin.
And how about help? Who helps you get this car and now truck fast?
Jason Peterson, my dad, my grandpa. We have Tyler's going to come along next year and help us. So very excited for next year.
Will you have to have a spotter in the Midwest Truck Series next year? I'm not volunteering. I'm just asking.
Oh, my friend Jake's.
I talk a lot,
my
so
friend
probably
Jake's going to spot for me.
All right.
So he runs a 6-year at Rockford now. So
good. Sounds like a lot of things going in the right direction, Sean.
Yep.
How about I say it for these young men? Sean Urich joining us on the Racing Roundup Show. Thank you, Sean. Great insights, well spoken. Looking forward to seeing you race this Friday night. If you would like to win tickets to this Friday night's Jefferson race to watch him race, come here to Lynch's at the corner of Lincoln and Highway 100. We have those among other prizes to give away after our show. We do the show every week in front of a live audience, and you only have 2 more chances to see us. Our show will return to Polly's Pub and Eatery next week, Tuesday night. And on that show, we're going to have Wisconsin Super Late Model Racer Rich Bickle join us at Polly's. Mark Wimberly will be there. He's the man behind the Bickles Bon Voyage Cruise. So if you thought about it, you can find out exactly what Mark's thinking. Selling those cabins, selling raffle tickets as well. $20 to throw to win a passage for 2. Next Tuesday on our show, we also have IRA Sprints President Steve Sinclair. And we're going to be happy to have the return of MSA 360 Sprint Car driver Lance Fossbender. They're all going to join us next Tuesday at Polly's on the Racing Roundup program. So make sure you make your plans accordingly. And September 28th, our big final show. We got tons to give away, tons to thank. A lot of people going to be there. So the next 2 Tuesdays, if you can't join us tonight at Lynch's, make sure you make your plans for the next 2 Tuesdays to join the racing crowd with us at Polly's Pub and Eatery on 81st and Greenfield. Again, we're hanging out tonight till 7:30 on the air. Great giveaways after. This is the Racing Roundup Show. Tonight we're live at Lynch's, the corner of Lincoln and Highway 100. Come on down and join the racing crowd. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070thegame.com. We'll be right back.
Gorgeous vintage cars showcase racing history against the beautiful fall colors at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, for the Aaron's Art on Wheels weekend, September 17th through the 19th. Over 300 classic cars will compete this year for the Vintage Sports Car Drivers Association sanctioned event. A huge weekend of vintage cars, September 17th to the 19th. Fan-friendly paddock, weekend camping, and more. Get your tickets now at roadamerica.com or call 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For over 30 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emissions testing plus minor to major repair, from oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. Call Oak Creek Automotive, 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th Street and Drexel to the pros at Oak Creek Automotive.
Greenfield Gallery wants to buy your racing collection. Do you have die-cast cars from IndyCar, Sprint Car, or short tracks? Greenfield Gallery wants them. If you have old racing programs, racing photos, and negatives, Greenfield Gallery wants those too. Contact Ralph Hibbert Jr. at Greenfield Gallery, who wants to buy your racing collection. Ralph also has an ever-changing eBay store full of racing collectibles. Search Greenfield Gallery. Email Ralph right now to get connected. His email address is ralph@greenfieldgallery.net.
$427-1000 American Foundation.
When your foundation is in need of repair, you need 3 things: an honest opinion, quality work, and fair prices. Call American.
Trust and dedication. That's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
Stay tuned for more of the Racing Roundup Show. This is America's longest-running weekly motorsports radio program held in front of a live audience. Stay up to speed on the Wisconsin racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports from 6 to 7:30 right here in Milwaukee on WOKY AM, the Big 920, and in Madison on WTSO AM, 1070 The Game. Once again, here is the trackside voice of the Daytona 500 and NASCAR at the track. You hear him on MAV TV's live coverage of the ARCA Menard Series. The host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey gang, how are you? Thanks for being part of our Racing Roundup crowd tonight. We're on the air till 7:30 at Lynch's, the corner of Highway 100 in Lincoln. Great bar to hang out in. Great place to hang out with a bunch of racing fans and sports fanatics on any day of the week or night. Looking forward to seeing you here sometime. We like hanging out here at Danny Lynch's, a longtime supporter of our racing show, as well as some racers that have their cars parked out front. So looking forward to hanging out with some racing people. You can come here to Lynch's anytime and have a great time. Join the racing crowd this Saturday night at Wilmot Raceway for the final race night at Wilmot Raceway on the Kenosha County Fairgrounds. Gates open at 5, high laps around 6 with the racing to follow. Come feel the thunder of the bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint cars, the IRA Lightning Sprints, Bandits, and the Wisconsin Wingless Sprints. WilmotRaceway.com has the details, and we're giving you more details right now because you have the man who's leading the Wisconsin Wingless Sprints points standings as we speak. He's on the phone, getting busy for this weekend, getting ready for the show. Let's welcome in Ryan Marshall. Ryan, welcome to the Racing Roundup Show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Great to have you here, Ryan. I know that there's a lot going on, but man, your season's been incredibly good. Have you had a moment to think, wow, it's been really good, or are you just focused on what's going on right now because you're leading the points after 2 consecutive feature wins at the right time of year?
At this point, we're just kind of focused on the end of the year. Kind of a little bit of a dry spot there last couple weeks, and then found some speed actually after we got in a wreck on championship night at Wilmot, and found some speed in the car that we didn't know. Pretty happy about that.
Did you bend something and it went faster, and you said, let's leave it that way? Well, how'd that play out?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I've read that happen before.
The car got pretty wrecked, and so we figured some things out, and we're rolling pretty good right now.
We've had the fortune of having several Wisconsin Wingless Sprint drivers on the show. I know Ryan Zielski has been really good at Wilmot, but your feature wins have come at Wilmot and at Angel Park Speedway of all places. I'm wondering how things shake out for you, and looking at the schedule to this point, with those 4 feature wins, you've had not just Zielski to worry about. This is a really steep, deep field of racers you get to race against each week, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, this class is really, really tough. I mean, if you look at our qualifying times, pretty much every different track we go to, the top 10 is in the same tenth of a second. You know, it's still really tough. We go to Dodge County next Friday, where Ryan Zielski was really, really fast last year. So we didn't run that show last year. It was a non-points deal. So we got no experience at all there in a sprint car. So we're going to try our best and hopefully roll the momentum over into Plymouth, where we ran good last year. We finished 4th there, I think. So Zielski's he's always fast everywhere he goes.
And he's not alone. There's a lot of cars that show up and go fast. And I mentioned only 4 feature wins. Other divisions, I mentioned Badger Midgets, they're a 10-win season. Modifieds at Wilmot, Chris Carlson got 11 wins in the single season. It's hard to win one of these things, but when it comes to completing races, 22 top 10 feature finishes for you in 25 A-main events. I mean, that says a lot about what you do during the week. And these are not just one night a week race events. You are sometimes 2 or 3 nights racing back to back to back at 3 different racetracks. What's been your regimen, and what's been so strong and working for you this year, Ryan?
A lot of that goes back to the team. Obviously, you know, a driver, I don't want to say has an easy job sometimes, but when you got a really good team backing you like I do, it definitely makes my job a lot easier. I mean, these guys they give up so much time with their families and everything else just to be a volunteer. You know, we pay them in cheeseburgers, pit passes, and beer, and they're more than happy to do it. That's the coolest thing about it right now with the series.
It takes a lot of people, though. I'm sure at night, are you by yourself at night in the shop most nights, or you have guys coming and going? How's that working out? Because your car's obviously been prepared to the nth level.
They're pretty much my crew chief is there pretty much every time I'm working on the car. Obviously, he's got some family stuff that he's not able to make it to, but for the most part, even when I'm there by myself, he's still texting me and calling me and seeing where we're at and what the next step is. If I can't be there at the same time he is and the next day, and you know, just to keep the communication rolling is the most important thing.
Speaking of Ryan Marshall, currently leading the points in the Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Car Series. There's some racing upcoming we're talking about, but the races that you've already raced, I mean, racing consecutive nights, top 5 finishes, you got 16 of those this year. I'm looking at the paper, but in reality, where have you found the gains for you this year to stay fast? Because some guys are fast for a moment. You've been fast the entire year.
Just, just calling people and getting smarter about everything as the weeks go on. You know, this is only our second year in a sprint car, so a lot of it's still new to me. You know, I got guys like Tim Cox and Joe Devin at DRC that, you know, they're just open books when you call them and trying to find more speed, or, you know, trying to teach you a better way to maintain things, or look for things that might be going wrong or might be wearing out. You know, it's stuff like that it's just huge, you know, and that's the coolest thing about the sport is, you know, Tim Cox, he's 3rd in points right now, and you can still call him. You know, it's really cool that the competitiveness of the series, but everybody's there to help you too.
Yeah, Tim won the championship just a few years ago, and I believe after he won his last race at Wilmot, he said, I'm not retiring from racing, but I'm done racing for points full time. He was kind of hinting to that to me end of June when we were there doing our radio show from Wilmot on the Tuesday night special leading into July 4th weekend. How much of an influence is he in the pits, not just to you, but everybody else? Because I'm sure if he's not there, it's like, man, something's missing. Because he's been such a good guy in this, especially this Wisconsin wingless division the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think most of us, us younger guys, call him the professor, or stuff like that. He always jokes around and says he got a bunch of kids in the pits because he takes care of a bunch of us. That's he's a class act guy. I'm glad he made it in the Hall of Fame this year too.
Ryan, when you mentioned this is just your second year of sprint car racing, what did you do different from year one to year two? A different chassis, same car? Take us through the progression from last year and this year.
Yeah, we actually last year I ran a Triple X chassis. It was kind of one of those type of deals where let's just put something together to get our feet wet and see if I was going to be worth anything in these things. And, we found some success in that car. And then over the wintertime, my car owner, Mike Sullivan and Nikki Sullivan, they were nice enough to buy a couple new DRCs this year, which made a huge difference. The cars are they're so much better from the jump on a lot of different tracks where the setup box for a Triple X is really small, and it's kind of hard for a rookie to figure out right away. But the DRCs, you got the guy that call right in Indy right away. He'll get back to you. So that's been a huge help this year too.
And you go to do a bunch of different racetracks and getting it right. It takes a lot of effort. What kind of sponsorship did you get for this year, Ryan? And who's helping you on that race car this year?
Our sponsor this year has been American Muffler, Lucky Dogs Bags and Swags, Gamblers Tavern, Little Giant, Outlaw Country Fans of Tim Castle, Dale Sellers, in loving memory of Jake Schultz, Numbskull, WR Performance, Eddie and Debbie Boyd at MLS, which they do not just help out individual racers, but they also help out our sport in general. They're a true asset to our sport. Force One Performance. That's pretty much it for the sponsors.
And then the crew, you mentioned your crew chief. Name some names here. Family, crew, who helps you out on that race car?
Yeah, my crew chief is John Curcio. My crew is Jeff and Richard Curcio, Matt White, and Jill and Alyssa. They're always there to help us out. My girlfriend, she puts up with this stuff, week in and week out, and she kind of, I don't want to say it gets neglected in the summertime, but she knows that our life is mostly based around racing.
Yeah. It's great to know you got a great group of people, and, man, keep it up. It's going to be great to see how the season finishes out for you. I know that there's racing yet to come, and, man, congrats on the season thus far, Ryan. It's really been a pleasure talking to you tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on tonight.
I want to say for Ryan Marshall, leading the points in the Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Car Series. They're racing this Saturday night at Wilmot Raceway, along with the bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprints, the IRA Lightning Sprints, and Bandits. Come feel the thunder. Gates open at 5. WilmotRaceway.com is where you want to go to find out more about what's going on this Saturday there. Now we're talking to a driver who's got the wing on. Yes, he won the Badger 600 Micro Championship, but that was a few years ago. Now he's looking forward and racing again this year in the U2 Blue Mountain Express MSA 360 Sprint Car. Let's welcome in Jack Vanderboom. Jack, welcome to the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for coming back on.
Glad to be back.
We get a chance to see you race on occasion. I actually, when I'm on the road, I try to tune in Flow when the IRA guys are going, and I see your races, and I'm like, hey, this is cool. I'm watching. I know Jack's going to be on the show. I want to make sure I can see this. You've got speed. It's been kind of fun. I see you got 5 heat race victories on the year. How would you assess 2021 for your team in the MSA 360s?
Well, I'd say so far so good. Like you said, we do have a lot of speed. We had some motor problems, towards the start of the season, but we're starting to get more consistent. We have a lot of top 10s. I think I have counting up to 8, I think, something like that now. 1 top 5 and then a podium top 3.
And I think the theme here, Jack, is how much have you progressed this year? Because you're back at it. You're going to tracks that are somewhat familiar to, I would imagine by now, although the tracks continue to change because it's a dirt track. How would you feel that progression's been for you? What have you guys been messing with the car most on?
It's just been set up, and then my driving, I've just been getting smoother and running, more on the bottom, more on the top, figuring out how to pass easier, stuff like that, and running through traffic if I need to, and just trying to maintain our speed and be consistent throughout the year.
I think we had you on the show with Scott Neitzel. Have you worked with other people to kind of find that speed as you're getting more comfortable with a sprint car?
Yeah, so Rick and Scott from RNH, they've helped us out for the last 3 years now with a lot of things, and they've been a huge help for us. They've helped us with setups and everything, and Scott's told me.
Have you helped Scott? Because I'm telling you, he's doing really good this year. He's right there in the points and everything. What's he learning from you?
I haven't helped him.
Oh, okay, all right, just checking. What does he help you with most?
Well, really, Rick helps us with mostly car, and Scott kind of helps me with my driving aspect of it. It's just getting consistent lap to lap to lap and keeping my speed up.
So have you found yourself learning, is he talking to you and you hear his voice when you're running into turn 3 at Plymouth? You're like, okay, this is what he said I should do. I'm on it. Bam, that's where I need to be. Or are you actually now just kind of logging your own data, if you will, saying, okay, this is my 10-lap run. This is where I want to be.
A little bit of both. I'm starting to learn throughout. I'm starting to learn for myself as well on what I need to do at a lot of tracks, and especially because MSA runs a lot of consistent tracks throughout the years. So I've ran a lot of the same tracks for the past 3 years. I've ran Plymouth a lot, so I tend not to be the best at that track, but we're starting to get there. I have a third as of 2 weeks ago. We had a lot of speed there, and I just, Travis and Ben got away from me, unfortunately, and I just couldn't catch up to them. But
well, they are 1 and 2 in the points. Travis Aarons and Ben Schmidt. They know what they're doing. They've
right,
got a few more laps than you as well.
Right. The plan is kind of just chase them down, keep up with the fast guys. But no, like a lot of tracks, I just, I try and remember what I did last year, and if I placed good, and we try and remember what we did on setup last year and all that.
When it comes to the setup, how much are you getting more hands-on? Is it more verbal, or are you actually grabbing the wrenches and doing the changes?
A little bit. Mostly it's my dad and my crew chief, Rick Keller, doing the work, and I kind of just relay messages on what the car's doing, so if it's tight or loose or something's happening, I'll relay that to them, and they usually, they'll look in and see what's going on.
You mentioned Rick Keller, the crew chief. I actually got to encounter Rick when he was racing karts, and then I saw him race an IRA for a long time, wing sprint cars, and his dad, Wally, great guy. They came to your banquet when you won the Badger Midget title, Badger Micro title.
Yeah.
How much is it influence knowing that you've got their help, and Rick's got a lot of experience at a lot of the same tracks you do?
Well, it helps. I would say he's ran, he's ran some other tracks too, but like you said, he has ran a lot of the same tracks. Does he really remember? I don't know. But it does help too, because it's just, if he knows those tracks, then it does help. But it's also a lot of the guys I know throughout the MSA, and, knowing Scott, that have been running for so long, that it's easy to ask for help if you need it.
And my number's right. You've already run 22 races this year with this Saturday Gravity Park. And then you end the season Friday, September 24th at Dodge County, the Horsepower Half Mile, and then Saturday at 25th of September with the Wisconsin Sprint Car Championships at Plymouth. There's a lot of racing to go yet, but there's been a lot of racing and a lot of maintenance and a lot of upkeep. Have you gone through your stock of stuff? Are you pretty okay with how the season went? Because there's a ton of laps on your race car right now.
Oh, we've been really lucky. We had a little bit of unfortunate event at Beaver Dam that we had to get fixed on the car. It was just a little shock tower, no big deal. Fixed that night, and for the past, ever since then, we've been lucky. Motor's been holding up well. It's been really strong, and car's been holding up as well. I've been staying out of trouble, so with these last 3 races, I'm just gonna keep out of trouble and hopefully finish good.
Do you find yourself, you're stuck racing with the same guys? You're 11th in points right now, so the guys that you're like, okay, 9th, 10th, 12th in points, are those the guys that seem to line up next to you in the feature every week? Is it getting to be that point in the season yet?
Kinda, yeah. I'm, Adam's in front of me right now, and I've noticed I've been running next to him a lot, which is all right. I have no problem running next to a lot of guys, but it's, it's tough to beat them too, especially if they're faster than you come feature time.
When it comes to racing, Jack Vanderboom, you're getting this experience. You're racing a ton. Is this where you want to be right now, finish out the season strong? Have you looked at other divisions? Are you looking at maybe traveling? I'm not saying you aren't doing enough already. Just what are your thoughts now on the season as you look ahead to what next season may bring?
Right. So we have, we just recently bought a 410. So our plan is to go, hopefully is to go IRA next year if everything works out.
Okay.
But right now we're going to finish out the MSA season. I've done decent at Gravity. I've got 7th place, somewhere around there. I've done some top 10s at Gravity, and I've done decent there. And especially at Dodge, I had my 2nd last year, so we're really strong there. I seem to find myself really good at half miles, even in the 410 as well, because I ran Anago.
Good.
But I think our plan is to run possibly double duty at Dodge if everything works out. So we're running a 410 and a 360, and I'm just hoping to keep that speed in the 360 that I had from last year. And maybe we can pull it off, maybe we can't, but we're going to finish out the 360 season strong and hopefully by next year go 410.
That's a lot to bite off. September 24th, running 2 divisions on the horsepower half mile in Dodge County, and then the next night going up to Plymouth and running 1 or 2 divisions there. You ready for that challenge? You have parts laid out, and just in case you got to change something, is it going to be a long Friday night? What are your thoughts about that big weekend?
Well, I can tell you it'll be a long Saturday morning.
Okay.
We'll most likely we'll just put. We're not going to run the 410 on Saturday. It's Sprint Car Championship. Might as well stay out of their way. They're all gunning for it. But I'm going to run the 360 Saturday, so we're going to flip one car, push one off to the side. But my plan is to run Friday, both cars.
Okay.
I'm excited, just hopefully keep up with all the fast guys.
How many race cars have you used this year just in the MSA 360s to run all those races and be that competitive?
I've been lucky with one car.
Wow, okay.
One car, one motor.
Whoa.
Yep.
Nice.
Haven't wrecked anything.
That's good. That's really good. And then when it comes to the 410, is that part of the engine? You bought another chassis with it?
Yes. So a good friend of ours, Jason Johnson, he sold us previously, actually 2 years ago, sold us our first 360 car.
Okay.
So we bought that from him, and we know he has good equipment. And he had this 410 for sale, his motor, and actually pretty much his whole team. So Rick and Scott and us went in on the whole thing and bought the whole team out. Rick and Scott took some, and we took mainly. We
Rick
had
and
some
Scott of
motors.
R&H.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. So we mainly just took, like the car, motor, some wings, some wheels too. Just a little bit of spare stuff, and then they took the rest and sold it off.
Sure.
But it's been a really solid car. I've ran 5 nights on it. It's been fast, a really strong motor. I have no problems with it. So.
Yeah. Sounds like things are going the way you want. And that 410 interest, I can see your eyes kind of light up
that's
a little
the
bit.
plan.
Like, let's go play some of that, guys.
Yeah.
Let's do that this weekend already. Actually, it'll be the weekend after this. This Saturday, Gravity Park.
Yes.
MSA 360s.
Yes.
We're going to watch Jack Vanderboom race both divisions. If all goes to plan, September 24th, that's Friday night, Dodge County Fairgrounds, the Schmidt Memorial. We'll have more on that next week on our show with Steve Sinclair and Lance Fossbender. And then the big Wisconsin Sprint Car Championship wraps up the season for some. Is it going to wrap up your season on Saturday on September 25th?
It depends, because I believe, secret, I don't know if it's out public yet, but
we're here to break news. That's what we do on the show.
I believe we're going to run the wingless thing at Beaver Dam.
Wow.
The MSA is going to be in conjunction, so my plan is to at least keep the car in one piece. And run that, because it's Friday, Saturday show, so I think it'll be exciting,
That'd be a lot of fun to watch that, too. Yeah. Go for it. Who helps you on this race car? Who's sponsoring it? Who's helping you on the crew?
Well, mainly sponsors. We're kind of self-sponsored right now, so Blue Mountain Express Moving in Stores, it's my dad's company, pretty much the whole shebang there. And then, like I said, R&H do help us out a lot, and they, throughout the years, they've really helped us out, cut us deals, stuff like that. And, on the crew, I have Rick Keller, crew chief, Sharon, his wife, mom, dad, and, Keith Rank. He comes around every once in a while when he has time. Last year, and I think 1 or 2 times this year so far, he's been really busy at work. My uncle, he's come out, and that's pretty much it. It's just a slim little crew, but we get it done every weekend.
So if somebody wanted to see you and track you down and give you a handful of money for tires, where can you find you online to make sure they know where you're racing next, or where can we follow you on social channels?
Well, I'm actually part of the Box 3 team. So.
And what is that?
It's Lauren Kelly runs it, and it's a couple guys. I think it's me, Tyler Tischendorf, and some other guys. Chase is as well on it. He does all of our PR stuff. He does a really great job at it. And he does weekly posts and upcoming posts on all the races, and he does everything after. He also has a website that he posts everything on, and for the most part, we do get a press release during the week after for the weekend before.
Sure.
So he's been doing a good job, but I also have a Facebook page that we post on as well, all of our updates and how we've done, and. pretty much Facebook. We're not really on anything else. You can search it up on the website. It will be in the Box 3 Facebook page. The link will be.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on the show, and hopefully you guys can track him down. Box 3 Media is where he's getting it all. I mean, it's another part of the progression of racing, getting more exposure, getting more sponsors, getting more opportunities. We're glad you took the opportunity to join us today on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
How about I say it for Jack Vanderboom? Thank you, Jack, for coming on the show. We really do appreciate it. We're live at the Lynches, where the Lynch Mob hangs out, I like to call it. Danny Lynch is at the corner of Lincoln and Highway 100. We're hanging out with you tonight on the show. We've got 2 more shows after this on Tuesday nights. We're back at Paul's next week. More on this program yet to come. We're not done yet. Come on down and join the racing crowd. We got some great giveaways here to do in a few minutes as well. This is the Racing Roundup Show live at Lynch's at the corner of Lincoln and Highway 100. Join the racing crowd.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070thegame.com. We'll be right back.
Four two seven 1000 American Foundation.
When your foundation is in need of repair, you need 3 things: an honest opinion, quality work, and fair prices. Call American.
Trust and dedication. That's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427 1000 American Foundation.
Interstate Batteries, proud sponsor of the Racing Roundup Show and the number 18 of Joe Gibbs Racing. Interstate Batteries is the #1 replacement battery in North America. You deserve the best, so get the best. Go to interstatebatteries.com. Go to interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Get yours today. Race on.
Eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races. Hook up with Boring Bob's escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, race tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack to get you in and out fast. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Daytona, Bristol, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and more. He has decades of experience and industry contacts galore. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414-321-1307.
Hey gang, Rich Bickle here. This is my 45th and final year racing, and come January I'm throwing the biggest retirement party in history of racing. Join me on the Norwegian cruise ship Joy for Bickle's Bon Voyage, the largest short track party at sea. We'll be cruising the Caribbean and stopping at some awesome places. January 22nd to the 29th on a ship that has 18 bars, imagine that, 16 gourmet restaurants, craft beers, and a go-kart track. I'll tell some stories, not my book, and there'll be some stories I can't tell on the radio. And you can ask me anything during the special question and answer session. Join the racers and fans already signed up. The bench racing party will be spectacular. Get out to January, Wisconsin weather and let's party. Spend a week in the warm Caribbean as we visit Honduras, Costa Maya, Belize, and Cozumel. Bickle's Bon Voyage is made possible through making memories travel. Visit the Facebook page or go online right now to mymmtravel.com. I guarantee a great time that we talked about for years to come. You won't want to miss it. Click on the link on mymmtravel.com. Join me and celebrate 45 years of racing on Bickle's Bon Voyage Cruise.
has his squad ready to defend the division crown. I'm not losing. It's an NFC East showdown.
That's big time there.
Thursday Night Football, Thursday at 8, only on NFL Network.
This is the Big 920.
Hello. We're back on the Racing Roundup program. Glad to have you with us. A few more minutes on the show means we have time to talk to our friend Pat Haney. He's in part of the big Hales Corner Speedway reunion this Sunday, September 19th at VFW Post 179 in New Berlin, 17980 West Beloit Road. 17980 West Beloit Road. 10 to 6 on Sunday, Pat, and you're wearing a fancy shirt that's going to be part of this. You've been getting some action on it because you've been wearing it out and about. If you can't make it Sunday, can you get a shirt like the one you're wearing?
Well, actually, people were buying them yesterday and today.
You bring some with you tonight?
Yeah, I do. I've actually got some out in the truck.
Really sweet-looking shirt. Chris Carlson designed it.
Yes.
It's the 2021 Hales Reunion T-shirt. Really cool design. The logo on the front is the old track sign with a bunch of different things that really are different than other years. What are you expecting to see this Sunday in this year's run, Pat?
I don't know. It's kind of, I prefer not to know everything. So I just tell people, bring whatever you want. I found out yesterday the Fuzzy Fosbender Gremlin's going to be there. A friend of mine, Jerry Coolis, bought that, and he's going to bring that. But you really never know. It's kind of like you got to show up and see what shows up. Dick Stalter was on the phone with me today. They're bringing the Frank Smith replica. Of course, they just had that Frank Smith three-part series.
Yeah, look it up on YouTube. Don Radebaugh, the History Mystery Man, did a 3-part series on Frank Smith. And they sat in that car and had a great time talking about it.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
It really was.
Great video piece. I know Don, I've known him for a long time, did not know he found Frank Smith and called him the Junior Johnson of Wisconsin.
Right.
Pretty cool. So I'm guessing Frank might even be there. We don't know who's going to show up.
Frank's going to be there.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
And we got to have this. I've decided now we're going to do this every year.
Every year, okay.
Because we're just losing too many people.
Yep.
So y'all better hope I stay alive because I don't know who's going to take it over if I'm
So you got memorabilia, you've got band, you got music, you got food.
I have yet to get a hold of the guy who's supposed to be bringing the DJ.
All right, okay.
But yeah, we got food from Daniel's Catering, and we got street rods and race cars, past and present.
Do I have to be there with my race car at a certain time?
If you're bringing a race car, you got to be there between 8 and 9 in the morning.
All right, that's good stuff. Good stuff. There's also a Facebook page. Check it out. Hales Corner Speedway Reunion. Pat, thanks for spending a few minutes with you. I saw you at the bar and said, come on over, we're going to chat about this. We hope it all goes really well for you on Sunday.
And any race car is welcome. You don't have to Colin, you can bring your race car. You don't have to have raced at Hales Corner.
There you go. Great comment. Great thought. Great way to end our show. Have a nice hand for the folks here at Lynch's. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Lincoln and Highway 100. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Another great show. We have 2 Tuesdays left. We talk about racing all the time. We always want to remind you this. Set your DVR, support your local racing, and until next Tuesday, have at it, racers. We'll see you at Polly's next Tuesday.